What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I thought I'd have a little fun with Spider-Man yet again and give maybe one of the more hotter takes I think I've ever done on either channel. And I want to talk about why I think Spider-Man 3 is the best, and at the very least, is my personal favorite of the Sam Raimi trilogy, the Tobey Maguire trilogy. I think Spider-Man 3 is the best one. I'm going to do a ranking. Now, I don't know when it's going to go up. I'm going to do a ranking of all 7 live action movies on my main channel. So that's a reason to subscribe here for this thing and then there for that thing. But I wanted to do this separately because I thought, this is a hot take in and of itself. I'm going to put it actually pretty high in the rankings, so maybe people, so I think there's a good reason to do this. So I just want to talk about it a little bit. I watched all 7 again. So I watched both of Tom, and in this order, both of Tom Holland's, both of Andrew Garfield's, and then all 3 Tobey Maguire's. And I did that in probably a 4 to 6 day stretch. I watched all of Tobey's in a 2-day stretch. So I have them all, I had watched them all originally. Like, this is not the first time I've seen them. Some of them, it's only like the second time I've seen them because I don't really watch a lot of movies more than once. And I have to say, Spider-Man 3 really stood out. Now, here's why it stood out, okay? The movie is so crazy, but I also think it's got some of the best in it. And I think if you not necessarily ignore the bully Maguire, section, but if you not even like, that's not the right word. Ignore is not. Embrace. That's the right word. If you embrace what in God's name they're doing, okay, I think it's fine. So, in my opinion, I kind of looked at this movie in different lenses, right? I try to take the parts that the movie thought was serious. And then any parts that I thought were like too campy or just literally over the top outrageous, okay, I took that separate. That's just it's a separate thing, and I'm not going to put it all in one pack. Now, by the way, I'm trying to be very transparent, but I'm also not trying to like BS you, okay, and like just lie to you. I know I personally believe Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire's, is the best film of those 3, okay? But which one would I rather watch more than once is 3. Not 2. 2 is actually, in my opinion, the most boring. 1 is just kind of okay. These are hot takes. I mean, you guys got to turn off your stove, okay, because it's hot. I really think I'd watch 3 like over and over again. No, I'm not going to do that. But if I had to do that for any of them, and even any of the, I don't know about the Andrew Garfield ones. We'll talk about that later. I really think 3 would be that one. Venom is obviously a weakness. I would say no matter how you look at it. I don't like the actor. I don't like Eddie Brock really, just in general, in this film. I like Venom, like when it's just Venom. I like him when he's detached, I should say, at the very end when he's kind of like growing. I really like that. And that's, in my opinion, the biggest like flat out weakness. I never really have, MJ, I have learned, watching it back, because I haven't watched these movies in God knows how long. MJ is a horrible, horrible person, and I think she's less horrible in 3. I think 2 is literally like I don't know how a person can be so just unlikable in a movie, especially somebody like MJ, but they do it. And then in 3, she's definitely better. I think it's because they try to make Tobey Maguire, like that unlikable. I don't really get that. I actually prefer, and that honestly, guys, is one of the bigger reasons. I think one of the things that stands out in a hot take for me is that I really, for the most part, can't get behind the Raimi movies. I knew I didn't really like them, and I've said it multiple times. I never really liked the Raimi movies back in the day when I first watched them. I didn't. I didn't like Tobey Maguire. I didn't like the crying excessively, and then everything else kind of just like blended in the background. I never really thought of plot details or like how it was executed or like, visually. Honestly, like those were like the main things to me growing up as a kid. I would say now I can get behind Tobey Maguire way, way more, but it's still, especially I would say in comparison to maybe even like Andrew Garfield, it's just not strong in 1 and 2. I would say I prefer 3's Tobey Maguire a ton, both as Peter and as Spider-Man. Now, yeah, he's cocky, yeah, he's like egotistical, but I actually really like him because at least he's not a freaking loser that he is in 1 and 2. Hot take, whatever. But I actually do like his character quite a bit, and again, a lot of this stuff is maybe more funny, or I'm kind of like poking at it, but I actually do think he's the most at times like serious. He's sincere at times. Like I really do appreciate and like the delivery to MJ, where it's like, you know, the reviews are the reviews. Like you're always gonna get that. You're gonna laugh about this tomorrow. Like those are kind of heartfelt things that I like that, and I think he sells it better than any of the other, like when he does it in 1 or 2, especially 1. 1 is, again, I think 2's better than 1, but you know what I mean? So I really, really like that delivery. I've always liked Sandman, even back then and now. I've always liked Sandman. I think there's just more to the villains. Like I love Doc Ock, but he's actually barely in the movie, which I didn't really remember now. Even Willem Dafoe, he's in it. He's in it more than Doc Ock, but I just feel, I mean, obviously this movie's got like 500 villains, Spider-Man 3, but you just kind of feel it a little bit more. But I've always liked Sandman. I still like Sandman. I like that plot line. I like his sincerity. Like I like how I like how he comes across. You know, obviously they tried it with Doc Ock, and then even with him, like there is more emotion behind it. You know, you can see that redemption kind of coming and stuff like that. So I really do like it. Venom, again, I think has his times. Harry, now I like Harry. The amnesia thing aside, and like jumping around, I actually watched, somebody had given me a video of a person talking about, you know, why he likes Spider-Man 3. And I watched the entire thing, and a lot of what he said is true in terms of like the movie's all over the place. It never really has a villain for more than like 5 to 10 minutes. Like it has a villain, makes them the primary antagonist, and then gets rid of them immediately. Like that's how this movie consistently, like it's Harry, and then it's Sandman, and then it's Bully Maguire, and then it's, or you know, like that's how it works in this movie. And I get that that's messy. That's why, again, I say 2 is the most straightforward start to finish. It makes the most sense. It's it's got the most flow to it. But again, I actually feel like it's the most boring of the 3. And I would say no matter how you feel about these movies, you could at least argue that or agree on that. And you could also probably agree that there's the most stuff going on in this one. Again, I feel like this is the most entertaining, not necessarily, I still do think it's actually, it is the best in my opinion, and it is my favorite. But I think no matter where you stand on it, I think most entertaining would also be a phrase you would use to describe this movie. Is there's just always something happening. It's got a lot of lines that you'll always remember, and it's got a lot of scenes. Like, who doesn't know the Tobey Maguire, like the dancing scenes? Like, who doesn't? And again, when I'm watching that, I do remember back in the day despising it. I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world, and I still think there's many people, rightfully so, that do think it's stupid, okay? And I'm not arguing with that. However, again, if you separate that from the seriousness of the movie, and you kind of get over the fact that it kind of jumps around like 400 times in it, I actually think it's just really good. I do. I appreciate him going just wild with his hair and the dancing, just all that stuff. I appreciate that stuff. I appreciate the fighting. I appreciate all of the villains. J. Jonah Jameson is actually a phenomenal character that I didn't really think of at all anytime I ever thought of these trilogies, or the trilogy, but I actually really, like, he steals every single scene he's in. He's probably like the best part of all 3 movies every single time he's in it. I just love him. So, I don't know. It's tough. I'm not saying this is like some sort of piece of masterful art. Again, if we're being real, I think I still stand by my initial feelings that are controversial, and not everybody's going to agree, but like, I don't think I like the Raimi trilogy. I know I didn't like it back then, and then I swear to you, I tried to give him a chance here, and 1 and 2 are just so eh. Again, I can see why 2 is people's favorites or whatever, but I just can't get behind it. And then 3 is just so different and wild that I think that's why, like it's not my favorite movie of all time. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie, but I think just because it's so crazy, it's the best of the 3. Again, it's the one that I would watch again. I've only seen, I believe, like 2 and 3 twice now. I feel like I only watched 2 and 3 once back in the day. I've definitely watched 1 more than one time, and I rewatched it. I've probably watched it maybe like 4 or 5 times. But again, I don't try to watch movies, more than once, especially movies like this that I'm not the biggest fan of. But that's my opinion. So, I didn't give like perfect reasons, but I do think 3 is the best one. I do like 3 the most, and then I'll see you for the ranking on the main channel, where we will put all these in order. Okay, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon. I do a brand new video on the channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.